The parliamentary by-elections in Matungu and Kabuchai this coming Thursday have been seen as contests that will have a major bearing on the country's political landscape. On our weekly segment House of Cards tonight, KTN's political reporter Murimi Mwangi shines the spotlight on the Mudavadi factor in the two mini-polls and explains why several political landmines lie in his way as potential 2022 presidential competitors stake a claim on the seat's rights in his political backyard.
When President Uhuru Kenyatta spoke at the home of Amani National Congress Party leader Musalia Mudavadi in Mululu, he set in motion a series of significant political fault lines.
Kuna jamii tu mbili za Kenya ambazo zimetawala, labda ni nafasi ya jamii nyingine pia kutawala.
A statement that has singularly excited top presidential hopefuls from outside Kenyatta's Mount Kenya backyard, and interestingly taken center stage in campaigns for upcoming by-elections in Machakos, Matungu and Kabuchai. And as key presidential hopefuls strategize to cash in on the mini-polls for one man, the two parliamentary contests this week, and especially a make-or-break moment for his presidential ambitions. That's former Vice President and one-time Deputy Prime Minister Wycliffe Musalia Mudavadi, as his ANC party fights to retain the Matungu parliamentary seat and bolster his 2022 credentials. His ally, Moses Wetangula's Ford Kenya party, is keen to recoup the Kabuchai seat and also lend credence to calls for a Western region's political voice behind his 2022 bid for State House.
We need to look at Kenya more broadly. We need to really figure out what do you define as unity. Because you cannot keep on time and again saying that it is elusive only amongst the Luhya community.
In Matungu, ANC candidate Peter Nabulindo is up against a formidable opponent in former MP David Were of Raila Odinga-led ODM party, with the Deputy President William Ruto-inclined UDA party fielding Alex Lanya for the seat. Kakamega Governor and ODM Deputy Party Leader Wycliffe Oparanya is spearheading Were's campaign in what observers term as an attempt to thrust himself to national politics, hoping to make a name by delivering the Matungu seat to the Orange Party.
UDA, kazi ni kazi.
Ruto's push to expand his political base into Western Kenya, evident in not just UDA campaigns for the Matungu seat, but also in the party's stake for the Kabuchai one. UDA candidate Evans Kakai is up against Fort Kenya's Majimbo Kalasinga. The ODM-UDA stake in the two by-elections, seemingly uniting Wetangula and Mudavadi in an alliance that has also roped in Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka and KANU chairman Gideon Moi in a joint alliance against the separate threats of Odinga and Ruto.
In terms of a hierarchy of leadership, there are people who are trying to wrestle and demonstrate that they are better than Mudavadi, or they can be the de facto leaders of the Western region. So he has to demonstrate that he has to win, to reassure the people who are watching, to reassure the nation, to reassure the political players that despite all these other people coming on board, he is the man to watch and is the man to beat.
The decision for the party to field shouldn't be a surprise, because traditionally it has then been our seat. And it has nothing with us in trying to intrude into Musalia's, because even when Musalia was a presidential candidate, ODM did field a candidate there and won against him.
The forces behind ODM fielding a candidate in Matungu is from Oparanya, because he wants to increase his stake, to up his stake, so that he can sit on the national negotiating table. But you are telling him, you're not a presidential candidate. The only presidential candidate is Musalia Mudavadi.
Kazi ni kazi.
A win for UDA in either Matungu or Kabuchai would bolster Ruto's 2022 war chest, buoyed by his ally, independent candidate Faisal Badar's recent victory against the mighty ODM machine in Msambweni. A loss for either ANC in Matungu or Fort Kenya in Kabuchai Whether to UDA or ODM, analysts argue, would deal a major blow to Mudavadi's push to have the Mulembe nation speak in one voice.
For us as a party, we have suffered heavily under the burden of this coalition, and our supporters have told us as much that in fact in places like Kakamega here and in Western, they do not want to be saddled with these people as coalition partners. We would rather look for coalition partners who will benefit the party, help us to enter into places like northeastern Kenya, places like central Kenya.
Matungu vote is not a vote for the MPs who will be elected in Matungu. Kabuchai vote is not for the MP who will be elected in Kabuchai. The two by-election, Matungu vote is Mudavadi's vote. Kabuchai vote is Musalia's vote. If we win this seat, we'll have really increased the rating of Musalia, and it will be an indicator that the Luhya community is solid behind their own.
The Matungu and Kabuchai by-elections will happen simultaneously with the ward mini-polls for London and Hell's Gate wards in the county of Nakuru, where ODM withdrew its participation in support of Jubilee up against UDA candidates. And as the fresh coalition starts to take shape, these mini-polls pose a major litmus test for all presidential hopefuls with the 2022 endgame in mind. Murimi Mwangi, KTN News.